Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 428 for the 27th of April for the Ukraine war, or the special military operation in Ukraine. So let's start off with Kupyansk Front and the Svatove Front. Very rarely we start off here because there is a lot of activities seems to be happening around this area. If you look at the icons, you could clearly see that the Ukrainians have a lot of activities around here. There is a push at Sinkivka, Vyshana, Timkovka, Kreminna, and Novoselivsky. A lot of probings or attack happening around this area, and the Russians are actually reacting with their shelling at Vorishna, Pershotrafneve, Yahine, Tabaivka. So, a lot of actions happening all around here. Let's go into the details, of course, at Fyholivka. So there's shelling reported at Fyholivka on the according to the Russian Defense Ministry, and in the same report there's multiple locations, including Vorishna, there is at Pershotrafneve, near Yahine, because Yahine is under the Russian control, so it's likely to be close to Yahine rather than on Yahine. On the report is Yagonoye. And also at Tabaivka, the Ukrainians actually launched some sabotage, or actually it's not sabotage, it's actually just recon forces attacking at Novoselivsky, at Kreminna, and at Timkovka. Timkovka's information is from the Zapad group, and at Vyshana, as well as at Sinkivka. As usual, the Sinkivka continues to be the area with the most fighting, with the Russian controlling the forest line here, and the Ukrainians constantly trying to break through in this area or to push them back. So the Russian shelling is likely to be on a Ukrainian gathering of forces, or some kind of forces that is actually nearby this area, which are trying to maybe launch an attack. Over at the Kreminna region, we have the Russians continue to be pushing within the Serebransky forestry region, according to the Deep State UAN, Ukrainian Defense Ministry, all the Ukrainian sources, and the fighting is also reported near Dibrova, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, which means the Russians are still making a push and to drive the Ukrainians out of this forest region. Shelling is reported near Dibrova, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. There's also shelling reported at Toske, as well as near Shevonopopivka. And south of it, in the Kreminna region, Sivas region, there's only fighting reported at Bilohorivka, according to the pro-Ukrainian source Maroshenikov. Otherwise, we don't really have much information about any actions within Sivas. And moving on to everyone's favorite, the Bakhmut Front. At the Bakhmut Front, there is very little frontline changes since yesterday's breaking news, except at the area in around here. So the previous front line, according to the Ukrainians, actually let me overlay, you'll probably see better. Yesterday this also happened when I did this. So let's go back to Bakhmut. So if you maybe I should just turn it off. Yeah, because I didn't turn it off, then it's fly away. I'm so sorry. Let's try again. Goodness. So yeah, oh god, this is horrid. Why is this happening today? Yeah, 404. I'm so sorry. Yeah, maybe this will do now. So if you see the overlay, you can see that the Ukrainian lines have changed. So previously was around here. They have now given up this area. They have fallen back away. So the Russian lines are going from here. Now they are confirmed to have taken this area here, south of the junction. So this looks like a school area have been captured by the Russian forces as they continue to push south of this area. I'm sorry for just now the jumping around. Yeah, sometimes Google Maps can be a bit funny. So fighting is reported along the Chekoskogo Street according to Syriac maps, and that the fighting is also still ongoing at the junction here between the Vuvilena Street and the Chekoskogo Street, which is actually this street and this street here. The fighting is still ongoing around here. And otherwise, in terms of the other front lines within the Bakhmut city, there's no news. There is a footage of a massive explosion on one of these buildings. One of these buildings here that was totally destroyed, I believe. I believe it's around here. So, was blown up by the Ukrainians. But not too sure. There's no geolocation I have, so I'm not going to do that. I'll wait for more information. At Kreminna, the fighting is in the northern area. It's still within the northern area as the Russians trying to push through. Reports coming from Ryba. So, and otherwise, outside of Bakhmut itself, we only have fighting reported at Avdiivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. The Russian Defense Ministry reported shelling at Kreminna, Chasivya, as well as at Stupovsky. So the Russian forces, that means after shelling the more frontal front lines, started to shell into the rear again. So yesterday they shelled here in Avdiivka and Ivanivsky. So the fighting is still ongoing. The Ukrainians are still having a lot of forces in this area here. And moving on to the Avdiivka Front. At the Avdiivka Front, there is still, if I would think, it's skirmish with fighting reported towards Avdiivka, towards Zherbeny, at Pervomaisky and Nebelsky. Reports coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry at Avdiivka, Zherbeny as well, Pervomaisky as well, and Nebelsky is by Deep State UA. It's all the Ukrainian information. The Russian side don't really have much information of the front line around here. And over at the Marinka region, we have fighting reported at Krasnohorivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. At Marinka, fighting is still ongoing near the Druzhba Avenue and the area of the fire station. Fire station is actually around here in this area here. And according to Ryba and Deep State UA, the fighting is still ongoing at Marinka. Nothing much to report about that. There is shelling reported at Novomikhailivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. The probing by the Ukrainians around this area is no longer reported. The Ukrainians seems to have given up. So previously we have the probing attacks at Shevchenko, at Solodky, but before that we have Volodymyrivka. So all this is now no more. It seems like the probing have achieved its duty, achieved its objective, or they have just given up entirely. Maybe the front line has been too tight. Shelling is reported at Mykolaiv and Voleda, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. And moving away into the Zaporizhia region, there isn't much things happening over here. The pro-Russian source Ryba talks a lot about some gathering of Ukrainian forces or stationing of or deployment of Ukrainian forces, particularly at Makhanets and Nikopol, and there's also entire force of territorial defense around this area and around from the Mayansky all the way to Chani. And they speculated that the Ukrainians will do this crossing over to capture Nohoda and the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. As such, the Russians are not taking this lightly, and they have sent a reinforcement over to Nohoda and the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant and to strengthen the defense around there. Yeah, there's not a lot. It's nothing substantiated, if you ask me, because the Ukrainians are always going to have a territorial defense around the shores and holding the front line in fear of any Russian probing or attacks into crossing into the other side of the Dnipro River. So I would say this is tentatively still speculation. I'm of course definitely the Ukrainians will have their eyes on trying to recapture the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. They do have barges, according to the pro-Russian source, in this or Nikopol or maybe some area, which they can use. But yeah, in my opinion, it's still just speculation. Otherwise, I believe I've covered everything. Not a lot of actions. It seems like oh, there's one more. I just saw the aeroplane. So there is a Ukrainian Sukhoi 24 shot down over Lipivka. Lipivka is actually here. This is another, I guess, let me guess, 40 kilometers. Sorry, this only 10 kilometers from the front line. Yeah, so it's shot down by the Russian Air Force, by fighter aviation. So yeah, another fighter down. And yeah, so that's the summary for the day of 428 for the 27th of April. I have posted a new video, a headlines video on the Ukraine war. You can check it out on the main channel, and let me show you. So this is the main channel. You are now watching on the DPA war channel. And so if you go to the videos, you will see the Ukraine war headlines. So interesting news about some of the NATO countries wanting to give Ukraine security guarantees without being in NATO. There's also military information for the Ukrainian side with 98% of the promised vehicles delivered. There's also surface-to-air missiles being deployed and operational. And you also can watch the updates from yesterday about the latest information about the Ukrainian counteroffensive. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.